Good morning. It's Wednesday, October 31st, 2012. And the good news is I got this Hedgehog computer running really well now. You can see how fast this one is. Let's just... very fast now. Awesome. It's actually faster than my regular computer, so I'll be able to use this as my third client computer. It's got a whole fresh Windows XP Pro on it, so that solves the rest of the computer problem. The only thing, I gotta run more electric up here. I'm still working on Coyote. Today I'll be putting the rest of this together. If you saw yesterday's video, I ripped it all apart to clean it. And I'm going to be working on the car even though it's freezing out. I got to get the top hoses off. I found my razor knife. I still haven't found a pair of pliers, but I'm going to go downstairs and just get another pair of pliers. I might have still left it out and somebody just picked them up off my hood or something. That's today's agenda. Alright, I took a break. I'm making myself a potato for lunch. Starving. Yeah, I really gotta clear the rest of this area out. I think I'll disassemble this shelving unit. I'm not gonna do that right now though. A lot of that crap on the table over there is George's. I gotta get that off of there. I'd like to clean this whole area where I'm supposed to have. Anyway, I'm going to dig out some pliers. I pulled some junk out. And I'm in luck. They have yellow pliers and red pliers are really similar. So, back in business from the plier situation. Well, I've been using this computer. This is Fox, the new Fox. I moved the motherboard over to here to test out some power supplies, and they all work, which is good. I'm going to go work on Coyote. It's nighttime. Alright, time to fire this up. Thing's got a weak motor, so I leave it unplugged all the time. What I'm going to do is blow off that motherboard. Okay, I know it's not very professional just to use a regular hose. I'm supposed to use canned air, but I got what I got. How weird. Where the heck's the air coming out of? Okay, I blew the whole board off. It looks fairly clean, with a little bit of dust on it. It looks okay though. The CPU does not look okay. I have to pull this fan off. I gotta look at these. These break easy. They're all weird. And I gotta get the dust under it. Great, that's not supposed to happen. I lifted out the whole heat sink and the CPU came out with it. The CPU is supposed to be locked in separate. Nice heat sink though, geez, copper. Very nice. Okay, I gotta somehow separate the CPU without damaging it, or I'm gonna have to buy a new CPU. Reinstall it. I don't have any thermal grease, which you're supposed to put between the CPU and the heat sink. Hopefully there'll be enough on here that I won't have to. I hope I can get it off. I hope I didn't like super glue it on or something. Well, I managed to separate the fan from the heat sink. You can see the crap I was trying to take this off to clean. Normally they're just on with thermal grease. I don't know what the heck they've got this glued on or something, and I'm afraid of damaging this CPU. The reason being that it costs money to replace that I don't have. You can't reinstall it because there's a lever. How these go in, you leave it up and put the CPU in, and then you snap it down. And this should come. I gotta clean this up too. Ah, that was weird. My batteries are starting to die too. This thing's not even marked. Yeah, it's marked, it's faded. I don't know what kind it is, but I don't really care. I'll find out with the diagnostics program. Anyway, I got it off with a razor blade. I got between it with a razor blade. Hopefully I didn't damage this taking that off that way. Yeah, I had to replace the batteries. Anyway, putting back in these CPUs, you pull the lever all the way up, make sure that there's nothing, I mean nothing, in there. You can see that on, like here on the bottom right, you can see there's like some missing pins. There's always, that's called a key. And you can see it's keyed right there, so you know which way this goes in. That's got to go that way, so. And you should be able to put these in without any pressure. I may have, no, actually I didn't damage it. Seems like it's down there. See, they just flop around when they're in there. And when you pull this down, it no longer flops around. It's all locked in. So that's awesome. All I got to do is clean this. I'm going to try to keep that grease on, even though you shouldn't do it that way. I can't afford the grease. And there's no computer supplies around here. I'd have to send away for it, and I want to put this together tonight. That should be alright. I guess I'll take this to the sink and clean this. I'll have to make sure I dry it really good. Okay, I've rinsed it off, but it's still crappy. I'm trying not to disturb the what's left of the grease, so I put a bottle cap upside down. And there's a little unorthodox. What I'm going to do is soak it with palm olive for a little bit. Try to get that grease down. Okay, it's thoroughly saturated with grease, with palm olive, to try to emulsify this grease. Then I'll rinse it out again. I'll let that sit for a little bit so it soaks in. Alright, that's not bad. If I had more thermal grease and I wasn't worried about losing a little bit that's on here, I would be using a toothbrush or something and really scrubbing this out. But I'll have to do that next time. That's about as clean as this is going to get. Huh. A little picture. That's just a random pattern that the contact with the CPU did. I'm gonna wait till this dries and install it again. It's really neat. Heat sink. Looks actually handmade. Alright, well that's pretty dry. I'm just going to it's not dry. Yeah, it's just shiny. These don't look like they'd be too hard to make. You'd need some really fine cutting tools. I assume they cut all those notches to stick these things in it heat it up and then press it together somehow, and then afterwards bend it maybe. Or maybe they bend it ahead of time. I don't know. Anyway, this just drops on there. Trying to figure out which way it was on there so I get it back the same way. It doesn't really matter. I'm just doing it because I want to use the thermal compound. This is a really nice heat sink. I'm impressed. Very cool. Alright. Okay. I'm gonna clean this fan with a Q-tip. And I'll bolt that back on. Actually, I didn't show it on the video, but these snaps, I had to pull the memory cards out because they were gonna break when I pulled on it. I pulled on it with pliers. I pulled it out, and then I pulled on it with pliers. It's got little hooks on it. So they should snap back in pretty easy. I'm gonna clean these with Q-tips too. Q-tips and Windex. That's how I cleaned all my other fans. Yesterday I took the power supply apart and everything. I didn't write down a lot of this stuff. I didn't video it. Alright, not too bad. Cleaned it all up. I'll just snap that into place. Theoretically. I should have put it on before. Alright, that's better. I didn't want to push too hard down on a CPU. Those things are like insanely delicate. Alright. So now I'm going to lay it in there. Okay, nice and pretty. Now let's put the clips on. I forgot to clean the clips. I'll clean the clips and put them on. Alright, I got it clipped on. These things you gotta push, you gotta hook the one side. There's an Intel entry board, by the way. And then you just flip them on and push these on, and then these two are hooked. So there's quite a bit of pressure actually holding the CPU to heatsink. Spins nice and free. And I don't know why this camera lately is getting so fuzzy close up. It's just wearing out. It shouldn't be wearing out. I don't have that many videos. 600. 700. Alright. Let's make sure the wires aren't where they're going to rub on anything. I'll reinstall these are asymmetric, so you can see where the slot lines up with the other slot. And when you're putting these together, you gotta be so gentle. And you want to make sure that you're not carrying a static charge either. These things are not cheap. These ones are 1 gigabyte each, which is, I believe, the maximum this board can handle is 2 gigabytes RAM, DDR RAM. I gotta use 2 hands on that one too. Alright, the motherboard's all together. Everything's all nice and clean, blown off. Now to screw it in. These Intel entry boards use 8 screws. This is a full-size board. Nowadays, this is really an obsolete board. I use obsolete equipment. It's the only reason I can afford to do anything. It was probably obsolete when I paid $450 for it, even though it was only a couple years old, because they replace stuff really quick. I have some stuff that's only like 5 years old, and they paid like over 50 grand for it. Some of the stuff I have, not this, but and it just depreciates so quickly. I guess the hosting companies make their money and blow it out. On this entry board, you can see the capacitors are bubbling up. That's not good. It's still working, but these are about to fail. I may get a couple more years out of them though. Alright, I pulled the server back out. Now it's down to the nitty gritty. Wish I had some tie wraps. I think I have 2 in my bedroom. That came with a power supply. It's in a power supply box. Alright, very good. Yeah, this DVD player has screw holes on the bottom. The other one didn't. At least I don't think it did. But I stole the screw for this sidebar thing, because it's the only one I have, and I put 1 screw in on the bottom. But it takes 4 screws. They're like inset. This is a really nice case. A lot of cases don't even have enough thickness to inset anything. So I'm going to have to go to True Value and get some stainless screws. But I'm putting in this TDK unit. So it should be good. Okay, everything's hooked up except for the broken wire. I gotta splice this sucker. Or either I accidentally cut it, or maybe it got cut in a case and it was like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter, I gotta fix it. And I gotta look at the film that I took and figure out where all these stupid things go. And some of them are polarized, some of these LEDs. You actually have to have the positive and negative on the right side, so that's the most pain in the butt about these boards. I may have a PDF file with a diagram of it. Oh, actually, I can see some of them are marked. Maybe I can... No, not enough of them are marked. It just says front panel. Alright, I'm going to look at my pictures I took and put it together one by one. Okay, I had to refer to the documentation. I have a PDF file for this board. I try to keep PDF files on file for all my equipment in case they stop printing them. A lot of it's obsolete. Anyway, all these are hooked up now. All I have left to do is to splice the fan end on for this last fan. It would run without this, but I'm going to hook it up anyway. And then that'll be it. I'm ready to rock. Okay, unfortunately this broke a little on the short side, so I don't have a lot to work with. But here it is, so let's strip back. I'll have to go find my electric tape. Alright, you can see how I wrapped the black one, and then I folded it back against the wire. I'll start by taping that one. I have really good electric tape. You can't skimp on electric tape because you don't want it to dry out and start falling off your wires. So I'll repeat that. I'll electric tape the black one really good. Then I'll wrap the red one, tie that up, fold it back, wrap that one. Normally I'd offset them, but I don't have enough wire to offset the splice, so I'm out of luck that way. and then I'll do the white one, same thing, just rinse and repeat. It's eerily quiet outside. There's my electric tape. Yeah, Scotch Super 88, that's the good stuff. Alrighty then. It's almost 2 in the morning again. Anyway, I cut the electric tape nice and straight as I ripped off part. But I'm gonna, this has to be a good job on this. When I'm working on cars, I just rip it. They break down so much anyway. I'm always redoing stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna tape it real tight. Then I'll do the red, then I'll do the white. Okay, that's taped. I'm not gonna cut the tape. I'm gonna use the same roll to go around the other two. So I'm gonna tie up the. Okay, that's how you do that. I get the red one now, nice and tight. No straggling edges that can poke through and cause shorts. Now I'll just lay it against the thing, which normally I'd stagger. But now I can't because there's not enough tail left. And I bend it over. I don't know how much you can see with this camera being all fuzzy. And now I'm just going to wrap the tape around the one that I just wrapped. And alright, the red and the black are wrapped now. Now for the white one. Okay, that one's twisted, tied over, ready to wrap. I'm going to wrap the electric tape real tight on it and make like a little wire harness end to it. In fact, I think since I have the electric tape now, I'll just use that instead of tie wraps to clean up some of this mess. Okay, there we have it. Crude but effective. And there it is installed. What I'm going to do is put a little piece of tape tying all this crap together down here. Unless I can find a tie wrap. Let me see if I can find a tie wrap first. I'll just tie all this gobbledygook down here, make it nice and neat. It is cool. I had gotten a ATX power supply for my HTC unit. And there's actually some extra screws and a couple tie wraps, which I'm not going to use for that. I'll use for this. There's like millions of tie wraps, but they're all in storage. I gotta find them. Okay, there we go. It's nice. I'm not going to bother tie wrapping all this other stuff. This whole thing needs rewiring. Especially this area where some of these wires are going to impede this fan. And maybe I'll throw my second tie wire here to keep that from happening. Since you can actually have the moving parts right there. Too tight. Jesus. Yeah, I'll tie wrap this junk together. I shouldn't really do it, but there's actually a little thing to tie wrap to the case here. I'll do something here. That's all I got is one tie wrap left though. Alright, I tied them all out of the way. The fan, I'm officially out of tie wrap, so it's gonna have to be what it is. What a mess. Too many wires. This whole thing needs rewiring. I need more screws for this. At least I get this in. I've had this thing jetting out forever, but I just stole the screw from this cross piece to do it. I don't think I forgot anything. I got the lid switch back on, even though it's bypassed. In the well, actually it's gonna forget everything since This battery's probably no good. Alright. Well, it is what it is. I'll give it a shot, see what happens. I'm pretty sure I got all the wires on now. Okay, I stuck it underneath Zebra here. I named my new server Zebra. I had to name it something. Let's give it the true test. Coyote. Oh, I might have to flip the power switch on the back. There we go. Here it goes. I don't hear any fans. Weird. Great. Hope I didn't screw something up here. Hope I didn't mess my memory chips up. When I pulled that bracket off, I may have damaged one. Okay, I figured out what the problem was. It's actually, I pulled this out with the hard drive and it started running again, so I must have a jumper set. I'll have to set the jumpers again on the master slave and see what happens. And the haunted computer. I didn't change anything. It wasn't working under master slave. Now all of a sudden it just miraculously starts working. Very odd. Must have a bad cable or something. Maybe when I'm moving the cable, probably the data cable to the CD and the drive. Yeah, it went right to login. Very odd. I don't know why that makes so much noise. That's weird. Something's probably wrong with that. This is actually an extra CD I got from when I bought the good one that's in Viper. Very odd. That's always, no, it's everything is good. Alright, I guess I'll put the bracket back on the drive and put it back together again. Okay, all is right in the world again. Things running. It's got its issues. My bind server is screwed up, and for some reason it's got X running on here, which I never installed, so hackers probably got in this too. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this for tonight. So it's already almost 3:30. So I shall see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.